anatomy professor recommended me. Night job at the old St. Luke's Hospital, good pay, just cataloging some files. What he didn't tell me, the place had been abandoned since 1987. After, well, you'll understand. I shouldn't have gone in that night. But when you're a broke med student, even the strangest jobs seem like an opportunity. The project leader was Dr. Almeida, a 70-year-old man with yellowed eyes. He handed me a flashlight and a medical journal from the 80s. Catalog everything, don't open the basement door, no matter what you hear, he said. The records room was on the 3rd floor, shelf after shelf of files, until I found the special cases, 1986 section. The first folder, Patient 0, Room 12B, photos of a man with abnormal bone growths like horns. The final report read, Subject euthanized, 11/15/1986, but the signature was smudged. On the 3rd night, I heard moans from the pediatric wing. I followed them to the nursery and found small metal lockers. One was open. Inside, 12 jars with fetuses in formaldehyde, all with modifications. The label said, Project Chimera, Batch 3. When I heard footsteps behind me, I turned and I passed out. Woke up chained in the basement. Dr. Almeida stood there with a syringe. You found what you shouldn't have. Now you'll be part of the study. That's when the others stirred in their cells. A man whose skin had grown thick and segmented like a crocodile's, his yellow eyes reflecting the light. A woman whose 3rd arm twitched from her shoulder, fingers spasming. And in the deepest shadow, something that rippled against its chains, its breath rattling like a deathbed consumptive. The gunshots came at 3:17 a.m., 3 sharp cracks, then shouting, Armed officers, show yourselves. I wrenched against the manacles with everything I had. The rusted iron groaned. Almeida turned, his face twisting in fury. Then he was gone, vanishing through a hidden door in the brickwork. The first officer to reach me froze, his torch beam trembling. Jesus Christ. The light illuminated the room. Century-old surgical tools laid beside modern IV drips, their labels marked with serial numbers and dates from last week. Blackwood Trials, Phase 4, Subject Log. Page after page of names, dates, and progress notes. Most were homeless people reported missing in Lambeth last winter. One entry made my stomach drop. Subject 11, M34. Successful dermal reinforcement. Awaiting cognitive stability tests. The detective radioed for backup, his voice tight. We need SOC in the bloody home office down here now. But by morning, the story had changed. The official report called it an urban exploration incident. The basement was empty. The patients? Never there. Almeida? No record of him existed. Only the scars on my wrists and the nightmares proved any of it was real. Day 17 since the raid. They want me to believe I imagined it all, but I know what I saw in that basement. They pumped me full of drugs, haloperidol, midazolam, but my mind won't break. I count the ceiling tiles to stay awake. 64, always 64. The nurse calls it treatment. I call it torture. They discharged me into my parents. A familiar environment will help the recovery, Dr. Fellows said while signing papers that listed my diagnosis in bold letters, psychotic episode. The taxi ride home felt like being escorted to a prison, with floral curtains and a well-stocked medicine cabinet. The first night home, they prepared my favorite childhood meal, roast beef with Yorkshire puddings. A welcome home feast. But the way the gravy congealed untouched in the dishes told the real story. This wasn't a celebration, it was an assessment. Mother kept rearranging her peas into perfect lines as she spoke. The doctors say it's stress, she said, but her knife kept scraping the plate like she was trying to erase something. Father nodded along, his fingers tapping that same pattern. I'd heard in Blackwood's basement, 3 quick, 2 slow, the rhythm they used to sedate Subject 9. Day 12. They've stopped pretending this is temporary. The child lock on my window, the removed doorknobs. Father calls it convalescence. Mother smiles as she measures my medication with chemist's precision. Only the thing wearing Emily's skin slips. Sometimes it forgets to blink for too long. If you're hearing this, it's because I'm no longer here to tell the whole story. But pay attention. No one believes me until it's too late. So let me tell you what no one warned me about. Simple jobs don't exist. No archive cataloging position pays 3 times minimum wage. No night watch in an abandoned hospital is just basic surveillance. If the money seems too good to be true, it's because it is. I should have been suspicious when the interviewer didn't ask about my experience, when the contract had vague clauses about total confidentiality, when they gave me an access card without a photo. But I was desperate, and they knew it. Ani. The first night, the boss told me, "Don't open the basement door," a warning disguised as a rule. I laughed. 3 days later, I was inside.